The late 1800s and early 1900s were a time of big changes in how people thought and lived. New ideas from the Enlightenment and the rise of modern science made people question old ways of thinking, even about religion. This led to something called theological modernism. It was a movement that tried to mix Catholic faith with modern ideas. Modernist thinkers started to question old ways of understanding the Bible. They focused on personal religious experiences and wanted a more up-to-date way to deal with social problems. People like Alfred Loisy in France and George Tyrrell in England challenged the Church's long-held beliefs. This caused big arguments within the Church. These early ideas of modernism, even though they faced resistance at first, slowly started to grow in certain parts of the Church. The movement's focus on personal experience and its willingness to engage with new ideas appealed to some religious scholars and thinkers. They wanted a faith that felt more real and relevant for the modern world. Even though modern ideas faced opposition, they slowly started to sneak into different parts of church life. They spread through theology schools, seminaries, and religious groups, shaping how future priests and religious scholars were taught and trained. Writings influenced by modernism, often hidden as academic works, quietly questioned old beliefs and understandings. These ideas seeped into talks about the Bible, church history, and core beliefs. This made people doubt things and created a feeling of intellectual uncertainty. Modernist influence went beyond just academic circles. It slowly started to affect how everyday people practiced their faith and their religious customs. The focus on personal experience resonated with some regular Catholics. They were looking for a more direct and emotional connection to their faith. The stage was set for a big disagreement between those who supported modernism and those who wanted to protect traditional Catholic teachings. Pope Pius VI was very worried about modernism spreading. He saw it as a serious danger to the Catholic faith. He thought it was a dangerous mix of mistakes that would weaken the Church's power, twist the Bible's meaning, and turn religion into just a feeling. In 1907, Pope Pius VI put out an important letter called Pascendi Dominici Gregis. In it, he said modernism was the worst of all heresies. He accused modernists of being too focused on personal feelings, believing that truth was relative, and reducing faith to just an emotion. Pope Pius VI's condemnation of modernism sent shockwaves through the Church. He put in place rules to fight its influence, like creating the Pontifical Biblical Commission to make sure the Bible was understood correctly. He also required all clergy to take an anti-modernist oath. These actions, even though they caused arguments, were meant to protect the Church's teachings from what Pius VI saw as a dangerous and hidden threat. The 1960s ended with the Second Vatican Council, which brought many doubts and expectations from both sides. Through a slow process over many decades, the modernist movement has led today's Church to not recognize itself, imitating the Protestant Church more than the 2,000-year-old Catholic Church. The results: a deep division and instability in the Church. But on the other hand, there's a new interest among young people in the old, deep and mystical ways. No one can explain this, and it shakes the very foundations of a Church that calls itself modern, led by older leaders who refuse to see this phenomenon. Without a doubt, God has the final say as the owner and Lord of everything, despite us humans. Let's pray for the Church and its leaders, and may the Blessed Virgin Mary, Mother of the Church, protect us from the evil one who lurks. Bye, beloved warriors of the Lord, and God bless you.